my Bahama land, yeah. Friends in every place, a smile on every face. Children at play, time with family today. Someone fill my plate, homemade bread, I can't wait. I can't get enough, I will always stay in touch with my Bahama land, yeah.
Rare Voice introduces Bahamaland, an unlimited nationwide calling plan for only $5 a month. So call home today and connect again with Bahamaland. Home never felt so close.
My Bahama land, yeah.
A new crime warning issued to Americans in the Bahamas. A man found dead near the Dundas Center for the Performing Arts. We'll tell you who will be responsible for cleaning up homes vandalized in Pride Estates. More teachers outraged at the fingerprinting process, and pastors call on government to uphold last year's referendum results. We have those stories and much more coming up tonight. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Christina McNeil, and your MB12 starts right now. Yet another crime warning released by the United States Embassy. A statement was issued yesterday warning Americans living in and traveling to New Providence and Grand Bahama to be on heightened alert. Nikki DeVoe spoke with embassy officials and the tourism minister to find out how these warnings are impacting the industry.
It's the latest of several crime warnings issued by the U.S. Embassy over the past few years. This one follows what embassy officials called shocking attacks of U.S. citizens over the weekend.
Most recently this weekend, the brutal murder of an American in Grand Bahama, and also a rather shocking robbery of a couple who was here on vacation out at Jaws Beach with reportedly the use of an assault rifle, an AK-47, and some other events that have happened recently that we felt a need just to remind Americans that when they come to the Bahamas, which is a beautiful country, a great place to come to, that they shouldn't leave their street smarts at home.
47-year-old Anthony Kyle Welsh, who moved to the Bahamas from Mississippi, was bound with duct tape and stabbed to death at his home on Albacore Drive in Freeport Friday night. U.S. Acting Chief of Mission John Armstrong said the couple at Jaws Beach was robbed of its vehicle and other belongings on Saturday. They were not harmed. Last evening's press release also highlighted the murder of Kyle Bronner back in May and several other armed robberies that occurred this month. Armstrong, who spoke with us after his appearance on Darrell Miller Live, stressed that the warnings are not intended to deter Americans from visiting the Bahamas.
Well, we have had a few inquiries, of course, with the messages that we've sent so far. Just a clarification, they've been sent by the embassy to American citizens who have enrolled on and asked to receive such messages. Of course, they get to other people too. We have noticed that some Americans are being more cautious, and we're not discouraging people from coming here, but just to make it clear.
And Tourism Minister Obi Wilshcombe says so far the frequent U.S. crime warnings have not affected the country's main industry. In fact, he says tourism numbers are up.
Well, as always, you have to watch what's going on, but the truth is our tourism numbers are growing. We're seeing the numbers increase every day. We're seeing Grand Bahama numbers go up incredibly high. We feel very good about it. But again, that means that we have to have a two-tier approach. One, where we're fighting the warnings and fighting crime, and at the same time we're continuing aggressive marketing throughout the world.
But Wilshcombe said Bahamians must not be satisfied that crime has not impacted tourism yet. He reiterated that Bahamians must work together to combat crime and ensure that the Bahamas' reputation remains intact. He also said he met with Armstrong just before the embassy released the statement, and Wilshcombe stressed they will continue to work together to do what's best for those living in and visiting the Bahamas.
Well, they have to do it, whether or not the people of America pay attention to the warnings given to the fact that they come from cities that are much more crime-ridden, and they go to other places like Mexico, for instance, And there was a study last year that showed that although they warned about Mexico, Americans continue to travel to Mexico. The truth is we shouldn't have to think about that. I believe that we have to get to the point where we have the knowledge that our country is one of peace and tranquility and that people want to come because of what exists. We don't want those messages getting out there because the truth is, as you say, they build up.
The embassy issued a similar crime warning in November 2013, citing at least 3 incidents in a 6-month period, including one where American visitors were robbed by machete-wielding assailants on Grand Bahama. According to crime statistics released 2 weeks ago for 2013, armed robberies in the country fell by 8% from 1,106 cases to 1,022 cases, and robberies fell by 2%. Reporting for NB12, I'm Nakia DeVoe.
Well, police are probing the circumstances surrounding a shocking discovery at Mackey Street's Dundas Center for the Performing Arts. The body of a man was found inside a burning car, leaving police asking the public for help. Dana Smith reports.
Police say the victim is burned beyond recognition, and when officers responded to the scene, the car was engulfed in flames. According to Assistant Commissioner Police Anthony Ferguson, officers responded after receiving reports of gunshots being fired in the area.
Sometime after 3 p.m. this afternoon, mobile police officers received a report from police control room that gunshots were heard at the back of the Dundas Center for the Performing Art. The responding officers, upon arrival, met a Honda Civic ablaze on fire.
Ferguson said police officers immediately called fire services, and after the car was extinguished, officers made a grisly discovery.
Upon the extinguish of the vehicle, officers discovered the badly burnt body of what we believe to be a male remains in the passenger seat.
Ferguson said it is still too early to say if the man was dead or alive when the car was set on fire, or how many times he may have been shot. However, police do have one piece of information.
The preliminary investigation conducted so far into this matter suggests that 4 males were seen running from the area where the vehicle was set ablaze.
Aside from that, Ferguson said police are still investigating the find and have no further clues as to what led to the victim's death. He appealed to anyone with information to come forward.
We are urging members of the public who might have information in respect to this incident to contact the police.
Reporting for NB12, I'm Dana Smith.
And the Bahamas Union of Teachers is threatening to go to the Supreme Court if necessary to prevent expatriate teachers in the public education system from being fingerprinted. This after teachers at CH Reeves were reportedly instructed to visit the Central Detective Unit today to be fingerprinted. Well, teachers say they're tired of the conflicting statements by union and education officials. And they aren't too happy about the $100 fingerprinting fee either. Vaughn Eektoot reports.
Foreign teachers rushed to the Central Detective Unit's Thompson Boulevard headquarters this morning to be fingerprinted as requested by the Ministry of Education. However, they were shocked to find this sign which said there is a $100 fee for fingerprints for non-Bahamians. They say they have no problem following orders, but that kind of money is hard to come by.
$100. Life is so hard right now. You think I'm going to find $100 right now? I have to pay light bill, grocery bill, everything bill and stuff like that. You think I'm going to find $100? I think it's not fair.
Dorval Darlier, who has taught French at C.H. Reeves Junior High School for 7 years now, says he doesn't plan to fight the Bahamian government on this issue, but he simply doesn't have the money. He says this already frustrating situation was further compounded by conflicting comments coming from the Bahamas Union of Teachers and Ministry of Education. However, BUT President Belinda Wilson today urged teachers to trust in union officials and ignore requests to be fingerprinted.
There is a total confusion about it. The BUT say don't do it. The ministry say you have to do it. If you don't do it, that will cost your job.
I'm saying to them, stay the course. The union, we are right. We will also go to the tribunal if need be. And if we need to go to the Supreme Court, we're prepared to go to the Supreme Court in order for us to fight.
Education Minister Jerome Fitzgerald said in a recent statement the process is an attempt to minimize sexual exploitation of children in the public school system, adding it would confirm teachers' identities and determine if they have a criminal past. Well, Wilson issued this warning to education officials.
Section 69 of the Act also states that any employer who would have gotten fingerprints from the employees, they should return those fingerprints within 14 days.
Darlier, who is from Haiti, says he awaits further instructions from the union. However, he says if teachers are asked to go ahead with fingerprinting, it should be all of them, not just expat teachers.
I think if they want to do something for the teachers, they have to do all the teachers. Why only the expat teachers?
I'm agree that things like this has to be done. However, I consider it has to be for everybody. No? Because I understand that it's for the safety of the country, but I think it should be everybody.
MB12 attempted to get a response from Education Minister Jerome Fitzgerald. However, he told us off camera his statement on the matter was very clear. Requirements are requirements, and he has nothing else to add. Reporting from Central Detective Unit for MB12, I'm Vonique Toot.
Officials at the Ministry of Environment and Housing believe they know who may have been behind the vandalism of several unoccupied homes in Pride Estates 3 over the past week. You'll recall yesterday we showed you images of the homes which were looted and defecated on. Well, Environment and Housing Minister Kendra Dorsett says his ministry is responsible for cleaning up the homes before they can be handed over to their future owners. Today, Dorsett was reluctant to link the vandalism to the presence of a shantytown in the area, but said government is acting swiftly to bring an end to vandalism in that area.
Now, I don't want to speculate, but from some of the anecdotal information that we have received, we believe that it is. And I think that as the DEHS special unit has been in that area recently and taking action to remove those areas, it is highly likely that this is in response to those efforts.
Unhinged doors, broken glass panes, wrecked cupboards, and human waste in nearly every room of some houses. That's what future homeowners were recently met with in Pride Estates 3. In 2012, a series of homes was also vandalized, prompting the opposition Free National Movement to call for the government to step in and make the repairs. Dorsett today explaining that the Bahamas Mortgage Corporation, led by Chairman Alex Storr, is now working to clean the homes and get them filled before the end of February. But he adds that one person who was assigned a home in the area has declined the assignment in the wake of the vandalism.
We're hoping that now that we're going to begin construction in the subdivision, that with the increased activity in the area, it will minimize, the vandalism that occurs. And so, our objective right now is to get those people who are interested in those homes in the homes as quickly as possible. My understanding is that there are 3 to 4 homes that remain unoccupied, which are still in the process of those who have been assigned bringing in documentation for them to finalize the mortgages so that they would be able to move in. And so those are the homes that have been recently vandalized.
Our news team understands the homes that were vandalized have been sitting unoccupied for about 2 years since they were completed by the Ingram administration. Last year, Dorsett told our news team the houses remained unoccupied because the previous administration did not leave provisions for the necessary infrastructure to be installed. However, today he confirmed that homes are sometimes assigned and reassigned due to delays in the pre-approval and approval processes that would prevent someone from moving into a home on time.
There are a lot of people who, when they go out to get their medicals, the medicals don't come back with the necessary, approvals for them to proceed. And so it's just a part of the application process. Lawyers sometimes take longer than they need to in terms of producing the legal opinions. And so that's why I've also asked BMC to institute the same industry practices of the private sector. You should be able to turn over the legal work in 2 weeks.
He says at times it takes between 3 and 4 months for a legal opinion to be delivered. He hopes to bring that more in line with the private sector's 2-week standard. According to Dorsett, there are 4 unoccupied homes in the area of Pride Estates 3. Coming up, central bank workers continue their protest.
And so we're not accepting that. We wish for them to withdraw that letter that was sent indicating that that they are reducing the pension plan and go back to what it was.
And a little later, what you should know about data privacy in the country. We'll tell you more when MB12 returns.